What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, as you can see behind me, we have not one but two RS trophies with me today, and you're probably wondering why. And they probably look fairly similar to you in first glance, but one is a phase 1, my one, and one is a phase 2. So today's video is going to be basically summing up as many differences as we can spot and that I know of between the two. Let's get into it. Just before we jump into today's video, I'd like to thank everyone that subbed in the past and the previous last couple of videos, but I'd really appreciate it if you haven't already, whack a sub, because there's a massive percentage of you right now that still aren't subscribed, and I really appreciate your support. If you could do that, it'll take you a couple of seconds. I'll wait here.
Do it! Just do it! What are you waiting for? Do it!
So as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be going through all of the differences between the phase 1 and the phase 2. Now, as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything that's been done like this before where they've been side by side, so I'm hopefully going to cover everything you guys need to know, as it seems to be a pretty regular question asked, obviously because there is a price difference between the 2 and the 1. So first thing, as you can probably tell, is the front lights are slightly different. Now, my one being the phase 1 has no inner DRL. The DRL is down lower on this one here, whereas on this one, he's got the Renault Sport flag fogs, but he's also got the runner inside the light. So I much prefer this headlight unit. I didn't really know the difference between the two at the time when I was looking at the cars, but this was a lot cheaper and in my price range at the time. A little bit less chrome in this light overall as well over this one. Obviously mine are tinted, so you have to take that with a pinch of salt. But overall, this is definitely the better headlight, but I think I prefer the DRLs being straight and plain on mine as to the flags. The only other real differences up front here is the diamond style grills up here, and here is a little bit tighter up here than mine. And this style here, mine's more like straight slat, and this slightly different RS style badge, which looks really nice in the black as well here, which I did to mine anyway, courtesy of Ryan Kilner, as per. Now, another thing that's slightly different on the front here is this whole insert to the front bumper. As you can see, the shape is exactly the same up to here. It's kind of like his one kind of stops here and becomes a plastic mould around to here, and it's got the silver kind of blade look all the way around to there, as opposed to all the way around on mine. Unsure which I prefer at this point, but you can also see mine's more straight lines. The grills have got like straight lines all the way through, as opposed to the diamond shape form on this one. And you can see the fog difference side by side here as well. So when you get into the side of the cars, there's not really a massive difference, as you can tell probably. The sides and the runners are pretty much the same with the trophy plaque. The mirrors are slightly different, where mine is obviously now black because I've got a sequential in it now, instead of the standard chrome with the orange bulb. And the one on Lewis's phase 2 is, like I say, very much smaller, neater, and the phase 2 wheel is a much nicer wheel in my opinion. The phase 1 wheel, I'm not really a fan of that cold diamond cut look, but they both are 18s, but they're just a much nicer wheel on the phase 2 in my opinion. Now, getting into the engines. Now, the engines are both identical, same power, same torque, same everything. Both cars have the same 1.6 litre turbo. They're running 220 horsepower as standard form and 280 newton meters of torque on like an overboost setting. Lewis is running some of the similar stuff to me, so he's running the AirTech air intake, same as me, and some piping and stuff, which is known to fail. Now, a common thing to go on these cars is this this cold side here. Now, Lewis, although the car is standard, he's changed a couple of bits of piping and stuff, which I've done on mine also, but this pipe here is a plastic pipe as standard, so it's not known to fail, especially when you are remapping the car, because of the plastic seals will snap and they will literally just explode. And loads of people have had that happen on the groups and stuff, so it's definitely something you need to get done as soon as you can, really, especially if you're looking to modify your 200 or 220. Now, getting around to the back of the cars, now there's a couple more differences here, starting with the rear lights. Now, the phase 2 rear lights are much nicer at the back here, as well as the front. Much nicer, sleeker, like LED style light. And the reverse camera is slightly different as well. Like, I don't know if it's a higher quality one on that one, but it's kind of like faces downwards, as opposed to mine's more like a fisheye all round. So now probably the most spoken part about a phase 2 in all honesty is the Akrapovic exhaust, and that is how it's said, so don't start getting at me. The Akrapovic exhaust can be spec'd on the phase 2 whereas it can't on the phase 1, which is a shame because it's a much nicer standard sound over the OEM kind of one that come on the phase 1. Like when I got mine, it's very dilute, very quiet. It sounded a lot more just like wood, like air of anything. And it obviously comes with these lovely carbon back plates that everyone is after, but they are mad expensive and people don't normally want to pay out to put that sort of money on something that's just simply aesthetic. So I painted mine black and I'm done with it. Right, so getting into the interior, there's very much a lot of similarities in here. The wheels it's the same, the position obviously is the same. Different seats, even though they are cloth, these are the phase 2 version of the seats. It's a very similar feel. I think they've got slightly higher bolsters, I'm not sure if that's just where I'm sat. Like I say, the wheel is the same, the dials are the same, the vents are the same. The door buttons are slightly different, the mirror buttons are slightly different, different setup on here. A nicer, cleaner setup it looks like on the actual gear shifter itself. Slightly different vents here on the middle, and a different little housing here. This looks a little bit different as well, the fascia up here on top. It's got the LED interior lights. It's got an auto dim on the rear view mirror. But yeah, that's about it. It's pretty much, it feels very similar. If I was to jump in here, you know, from my car, there's really not a huge amount that I'd notice different. Like I say, just a few subtle little touches. Like these are a nice touch. The LED interior lights, that's a nice touch. These here again, like I say, slightly different. Got a silver surround on these ones as opposed to mine that completely blank off. But yeah, definitely need to get myself one of these shifters as well because these are just a much nicer unit as far as the old gear shifter goes. So guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and like I say, hopefully we caught every difference we could possibly find and think of between the two cars. And if you're looking into getting into either the phase 1 or phase 2, don't be afraid to hit me up and I'll try and answer all the questions that you can. I'd like to thank Lewis obviously for coming down and stunting on me with a liquid yellow style as per usual. Such a lovely colour. Obviously now the sun's come out, so I've got some footage of it popping in the sun. Yeah, so thank you everyone for your support. Make sure you subscribe and like the video as you always do, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.